there. That's going to be the first addition to the A's. The A's first half, I will say this, at least they ended with 2 of 3 beating the Astros, but I mean, 32-61, when you say there's still the second half of the season to go, it's just, what are they selling? What are they going to get in return? And what are they trying to build for whatever their future is? Because, I mean, this is a lost season, and I don't blame them for it, Jay. They stripped it clean in the offseason.
Well, they just traded Bethancourt, so they've already started making moves. But you would imagine if the A's, the one big key piece I think that will be moved is their one all-star Blackburn. He's going to get something in return because I believe he's a free agent, so there's no way they're going to re-sign him. But you had me when you said there's still the second half of the season. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, and Montas, right? Won't he?
Yeah, Frankie Montas. Well, we thought he would have been traded by now, but he hasn't been. So, I mean, conventional wisdom says Montas will be gone, but, you know, at this point, it's hard to predict that given that he's still here when they were doing that huge fire sale. I mean, nobody thought he would start the season in Oakland, yet here we are at the All-Star break. He's still in Oakland A.
Yeah, that's true. And then on the Giants on the other side, at least they finished going into the break well because they were floundering too. They're not going to catch the Dodgers by any means, but they're basically in the 5 teams searching for 3 of those wild card spots. The finish to the break was good, winning their last 3. They're now 5 above 500. But, you know, last year, not only were they good, it also felt like one of those seasons. And they don't happen that often where, I mean, they had so many comebacks, so many late game dramatic situations, fluky things that went in their favor. But that doesn't mean they weren't a good team because they were. They haven't had that same kind of consistent good fortune, I would say, this year. And injuries early on. And just, you know, I felt like last year everything lined up perfectly for them. Yeah,
and given what they lost on that team, I think the big thing, you know, Gausman was great for them last year. And I think they've kind of replaced him with Rodon in that rotation. And Rodon's been excellent. Logan Webb, I don't know how he's not on the All-Star team. Logan Webb has been fantastic this year. It really comes down to, Jason, the hitting and keeping, you know, the position players injury free. You saw Lamont Wade Jr. hit a big home run yesterday. Finally. You know, he's been hurt most of the year. You get Brandon Belt, who gets his injuries. Crawford is a guy that, you know, you always have to wonder if he's going to have to miss some time. Longoria, you already know is going to miss some time. So you have those injuries you're dealing with, and then you have to counter that with the bats they lost in the offseason. Again, Buster Posey retiring. Buster Posey hit great last year. Chris Bryant signing in Colorado. Those were 2 huge bats that Jock Peterson has been amazing, but he can't make up for both. This is a team, we've talked about this since the season started, Jason. They need another big bat in that lineup, a big bat.
Yep, and that's why when we dive in a little later about what's happening in Washington and Juan Soto, I mean, the Giants, if you just look at what the division has done and the names that they have going forward, let's start with the Padres. They've got Tatis for the next decade. The Dodgers have Mookie Betts and others. The Giants just can't match up on just knowing you start every season with Mookie Betts and Fernando Tatis, even if, you know, this year Tatis has been injured. That just puts those teams in a spot of being ahead of everybody else. And the Giants don't have that player right now, and that's why they got to be super aggressive here. Winning 7 of 9 going into the break may help them. You know, I felt like they were right on that pendulum, Jay, of being buyers or sellers and maybe leaning towards sellers. But you win 7 of 9, you're still in the wild card race. I think they still have the framework of a good team. It's, you know, what move pushes you one way or the other. And I don't think they need to tear the team up by any means, but could you sell to get yourself in a little bit better position going forward next year? Or are you buying to say, no, we're not done with this season, and maybe an aggressive buy also keeps us competitive for years to come?
Well, and that's just it. It has to be an aggressive buy at this point, because if you're talking about a player like Juan Soto, you're going to have to
that's huge.
You're going to have to empty out your farm system, which the Giants have done a great job rebuilding over the last several seasons. Credit where credit is due there. They have some very nice prospects in that system. So they're definitely someone that can get the Nationals' attention. And on top of that, the Giants are one of the few markets that can pay Juan Soto crazy money. And if you look at him, you look at the type of player he is, he's so young. Was he 24?
23.
23. You can pay him 15. You can lock him up. Jason, he's not even in his prime yet.
Right.
So he's just young enough. You have the farm system to do it. he's the type of player that's going to fit into the Giants culture great. He's a fun-loving guy. That's what they like to do in that clubhouse, and they desperately need a star. Farhan Zaidi has made it a point over the last several seasons not to pay big money to, mediocre to average players. He has been holding off, I think, for this big swing at a superstar, and I think the Giants are going to be very aggressive when it comes to that.
Yeah, we got to watch that as this home run derby's tonight, All-Star game tomorrow. Baseball's at the halfway point, at least the